Good evening, members of the Council. I would now like to say the international prayer for peace. Lead me from death to life, from falsehood to truth. Lead me from despair to hope, from fear to trust. Lead me from hate to love, from war to peace. Let peace fill our heart, our world, our universe. Can I now invite Councillor David Stanley to lead us in saying the Lord's Prayers? Art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Please be seated. This meeting is being live streamed on the internet and recorded for future viewing. Photographs may also be taken during the meeting. Could everyone please ensure that mobile devices are either switched off or turned to silent? You've got a few minutes before I hand over, so anything that go off will go to the Mayor's charity, the £5 fine. Right. Apologies for absence. I have received apologies from Councillors Adam Aston and Kerry Lewis. Are there any other apologies for absence? Thank you. And I've also received Councillor Kari. Anybody else? Okay. Thank you. Declarations of interest. Are there any declarations of interest under the Members' Code of Conduct? Nope. Right, agenda item 12 then, appointment of honorary freemen, women and honorary aldermen, women. I call upon the leader, Councillor Patrick Harley.
Madam Mayor, members of the Council, I move that, pursuant to Section 249 of the Local Government Act 1972, the Council hereby confers the freedom of the Borough upon Councillors Alan Taylor and David Stanley, and that pursuant to Section 249 of the Local Government Act 1972, the Council hereby confers the title of Honorary Alderman upon former Councillors Alan Finch and Steve Walto, and that the Chief Executive be authorised to make the necessary arrangements regarding the presentation of the awards to the recipients. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Seconder. Thank you. Now, it is customary not to have speeches at this stage, as there will be opportunity to do this at the future presentation ceremony. And I know that I can wax lyrical on my ward colleague, and I will certainly do that at the event. However, does any other member wish to speak on this item at all? No? Therefore, I call on Councillor Patrick Harley to reply.
Madam Mayor, there'll be plenty of time to pay tribute to the recipients of these very prestigious awards. Regardless to say, all of them absolutely deserving of this, all long-serving, all great community councillors. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Indeed. Thank you. That is carried. Now, councillors, that concludes the business of this extraordinary meeting. Can I ask members to remain in their seats as the annual meeting will now start at 6 p.m. Thank you. Oh, can I get a drink of water? Members of the Council, can I just remind everybody that if you haven't already done so, to sign in at the table. I don't know whether Mr Griffiths has got the sheets. Thank you. The business for the annual meeting. Election of the Mayor for the 2022-2023 municipal year. I call for nominations.
Madam Mayor, I nominate Councillor Sue Greenaway.
Nomination seconded.
Formally seconded, Madam Mayor.
Does any other member wish to speak on the nomination? I hereby declare that Councillor Sue Greenaway has been elected as Mayor for the Borough for 2022-23. Here we go.
Thank you.
You put that chair right back. It's better.
Thank you. Madam Mayor, may I ask subscribe to the Declaration of Acceptance of Office?
I, Susan Louisa Greenaway, having been elected to the office of Mayor of Dudley Metropolitan Borough Council, declare that I take the office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties of it according to the best of my judgment and ability. I undertake to comply with the Members' Code of Conduct in performance of my duties. There. It's a good start, isn't it? Right. Yeah. 80. Election of the Deputy Mayor for the 2022-2023 municipal year. I call for nominations.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I nominate Councillor Andrea Dudley.
Is the nomination seconded?
Formally seconded, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Does any other member wish to speak on the nomination? Are there any other nominations? I hereby declare that Councillor Andrea Goddard has been elected as Deputy Mayor of the Borough for 2022-23. There will now be a short adjournment to enable robing to take place. Could members please remain in the council chamber during the adjournment? Thank you. Please be seated. I call on Councillor Andrea Goddard to make and subscribe to the declaration. Oh, sorry.
That's okay. Sorry.
I've done it wrong already.
Thank you. I call on Councillor Andrea Goddard to make and subscribe to the declaration and acceptance of the office of Deputy Mayor.
The office of Deputy Mayor of Dudley, Metropolitan Borough Council, declare that I take the office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties of it according to the best of my judgment and ability. I undertake to comply with the Members' Code of Conduct in the performance of my functions in that office.
Well done.
First of all, I've got to say a big thank you to everybody in this room for electing me to be the Mayor of Dudley. It's something I never dreamt I'd become, but it's a big honour and I'm really, really pleased that I'm able to accept it. And I'm going to look forward to the next 12 months and work really hard for our borough. It's a wonderful borough. Hopefully might be a city before the end of my... No. Oh, okay. Well, it's a wonderful borough. We'll continue to be a wonderful borough and improve it, I'm sure, over the next 12 months. Once again, thank you, everybody. That's all I want to say tonight. Thank you. I call on Councillor Patrick Harley and Councillor Zada to pay tribute to the retiring Mayor and Mayor's consort.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and warmest congratulations to you. What can I say about former Mayor, Councillor Anne Millward? That hasn't already been said many times by many people. I've known Anne for many, many years. We're in the Special Constabulary together many, many years ago, too many to remember. And I think what's shone through on her 12 months as Mayor is her humour, her ability to carry out those mayoral duties in a very down-to-earth manner to make people feel at ease, that she's approachable, has that great sense of humour, and is one of those heart and soul of the Black Country. That's what she epitomises, and I think she's done that to a great ability over the last 12 months. And of course, she's also had that 2-year apprenticeship as Mayor, as Deputy to former Mayor, Councillor Stanley. Now that is an achievement. This has still got all the sanity after 2 years shadowing Councillor Stanley as Deputy Mayor. But she did it, and then she's done her own 12 months, and I think being an outstanding Mayor and an outstanding ambassador, not just for Dudley, but for the whole of the Black Country in our region. So well done, Anne, well done. As I said, I've known Anne for many years. We were in the specials together. She was also a guest at my first wedding. She was a guest at my second one, and I sincerely hope this never happens. But if I ever have a third one, you're not coming, because she's clearly you're a jinx. So, but in all seriousness, Anne Millward has represented Gornal for many, many years, over 2 terms. She could have had the opportunity when she lost her seat to stand anywhere, and she didn't. One of those rare councillors that I live in this ward, I want to represent this ward. And there is nothing wrong with being ambitious and want to be a councillor, anywhere to be a councillor and to be involved in politics. There's nothing wrong with that. But Anne is one of those rare breeds that wants to just represent Gornal. Born and bred there. Majority of people know her. If they don't know her, they certainly know David Stanley. So between them, they know everybody in the ward. And she's represented that ward to the best of her ability and been a proper community councillor for many years. And, you know, I think you've been a great mayor. We have no idea how much you've raised in your mayoral year. I'm sure you'll let us know later on. But I hope you've enjoyed the 3 years, 2 as deputy, 1 as mayor, and I hope you enjoy your... I know how hard it is in that role as deputy and mayor. It's tiring, it's time-consuming. You're trudging around to 3 or 4 appointments a day, sometimes 5 or 6 days a week, so it's very tiring. So I hope you enjoy the next couple of months with a slightly less hectic schedule. And well done. We're very proud of what you've achieved as our mayor and our first citizen, and I hope you enjoy a couple of quiet months. Thank you.
Councillor Zarda.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And I'm glad we haven't transitioned to Mr Mayor, because it was difficult from Mr Mayor to Madam Mayor. So thank you very much, and many congratulations on becoming Mayor of this wonderful borough, and many congratulations to the Deputy Mayor as well. I was getting a little bit concerned with Mrs Harley behind Mr Harley when he started talking about what had gone on, and I was just wondering whether she had anything in her hands, but luckily not. So I'm glad that went well, and I'm glad you ended it where you did. What I want to say about the former Mayor, Councillor Anne Millwood, is I think she's made a fantastic contribution to the borough, and I think her chosen charities definitely resonate with the community councillor that she is, as the leader has said, and I'll elaborate shortly on that. What I do want to say, though, I think if anybody thinks being the mayor is an easy task, rest assured, make sure you've got the time, because it's been tiring watching Councillor Mayor Councillor Anne Millwood just organise her mayoral duties. So I think it's a full-time job, and I know that this will be a rest returning back to the benches for you. I think the former mayor chose a number of charities which are really, really important, and they all root into how we can develop the community at large. So in no particular order, the Duke of Edinburgh work that he does for community and young people, for most people it develops them into young adults, and it helps them develop some of those life skills, and to be able to invest some money from the hard work that the former mayor has done is absolutely fascinating and absolutely worthwhile cause. And I do hope that as many people of this borough benefit from that additional contribution that you've made in coming years to come. Something very close to my heart is mental health services. I think we underestimate the impact that mental health services has on people. I've said it many a time in this chamber and in other forums. I come from a family who have suffered from mental health, and I know what it's like to be alongside that family, and it's not an illness that is short-lived, it's an illness that is a long-suffering and something that you have to live with and learn to cope with. And actually the impact it has on the wider family is something that cannot be described, because actually mental health fluctuates. There's no end treatment. It's about managing and maintaining your symptoms. And actually Dudley Mind, fantastic local charity, and I hope that many people benefit from that, Councillor Millwood. And then the other one is a really unique one, in the sense that we all know communities at large have suffered from COVID and the long stretch and impact of the pandemic, and the fact that Councillor Anne Millwood has set up a special fund that she happens to want to champion post her term is really important for everybody out in this community. For those people that can't access those funds, for those people that need the additional equipment in the community, for those people that need an extra hand, we are in a unique position that Councillor Anne Millwood has set aside some money that she can offer through the special community fund that she set up will have a long-lasting impact on many communities in the coming years. So what I do want to say to you, Councillor Anne Millwood, is thank you for your 12 months. Thank you so much for choosing these charities. Thank you for choosing the charities that matter to so many of our people in this borough. And thank you once again that you've decided to invest so much of your personal time, taking it away from your family to give out to the community. One of the things I will remember about Councillor Anne Millwood, obviously, is even as Mayor, she never forgot her Conservative roots. So I obviously can't thank you for that, but thank you for all the hard work.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else that wishes to speak? There's one or two. Yeah. Councillor David Stanley.
Congratulations on your appointment and also to the Deputy as well. I'm sure the next 2 years are going to be very successful for both of you and your consorts. What can I say about Councillor Millward? Apart from the fact that she had a good trainer, and that was myself. She had practice for 2 years before they took the job on. We meet regularly as ward colleagues, and if we can't solve a problem over the phone, I go down there and we get a bottle of wine out. At the end of the time, we've consumed a bottle of wine or the second bottle of wine, we've usually solved the problem. But it's been a pleasure, really, to have Councillor Millward with me for the last 3 years. We've worked together as a mayor. I've accompanied her on a couple of occasions this week with functions, and I think that's what it's all about. I enjoyed every minute when I was the mayor, as you all well know, and I enjoyed every minute of the time as Councillor Millward was mayor, because I was able to share a lot of these occasions with her in one shape, form or another. We've always got on very well as ward colleagues and work together, and that's what the council is all about. If you can do that, get that friendship developed, work together, and for the benefit of the community out there, that's what it's all about. And the leader's already made comment on that, because both of us work extremely hard along that line. We serve on lots of different organisations together, and you know what I mean, it's been a pleasure wherever we meet. Sometimes we have our ups and downs. Life is not as simple as that, you see. We don't always agree, but at the end of the day we do find an agreement that we can get together, we can work together and be the benefit for all concerned. Well, Councillor Millward, it's been an absolutely honour and a pleasure to have you as the mayor, and also that with the great training you had, you've done a splendid job. Thank you very much.
I'm going to call on Councillor Anne Millward now to come forward to receive her past mayor's badge.
Oh, that's smashing. That's great. Thank you. It's lovely.
Councillor Millward, would you like to say a few words after you?
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. You know, it'd be a very rare day when I refuse to say a few words. And I'm probably as red as Andrea's gown because of all the nice things that have been said about me. It doesn't seem 12 months ago that we held this meeting in the town hall under very stringent, you know, and strict guidelines, didn't we, because of COVID. I can't believe that it's been 12 months. It's been an absolute blast, and it really has. I've laughed, I've cried, I've even uttered the odd expletive when the microphone's been on, and thought, oh dear. I've had a rather quiet year, though, compared to many other mayors. You know, some of them, Mayor of Solihull was, the current Mayor of Solihull was mayor back in the 80s, and I think he undertook nearly 800 actual events. We've done nowhere near that, and neither has he, and neither have many mayors across the country. And we've had a bad 2 years because of COVID, and hopefully we're getting there. But as Councillor David Stanley has said, and the leader, I've been involved with the mayoralty for actually 3 years. So I think it's about time I did get back to the day job, so to speak. And yes, I did have a good trainer. He was absolutely brilliant. And if nothing else, I deserve a bronze statue in the middle of Gornal for, you know, what I've dealt with and how I've put up with certain things and how, yeah, I've been there and we've been there for each other. So, you know, massive kudos to Councillor David Stanley. My thanks have to go as well to Kappa and the Mayoralty team, the events team, who work so hard. Most people don't know what they do or see what they do, and they make sure that we get from A to B. We are grounded, we know what we're talking about, we're representing our borough, and they're brilliant. So my thanks to them. My special thanks, and this is mentioned every single year, go to Martin Cox, who for 38 years has been the Kevin Costner. 28, sorry Martin, I've just aged him 10 years, well I have aged him 10 years. 28 years of being the Kevin Costner of the mayoral world, although he wouldn't like to take the bullet for me, it's for the chain. He's brilliant. You know, what he doesn't know, to every mayor, it's a new event. It's the first time they've done this. Martin has done it 28 times, and he knows everything inside out, and we couldn't honestly do it without him, so thank you so much. Right. Many organisations visited over the 12 months. Not as busy as I said before, as some mayors, but volunteers in this borough, nearly 3,000. And it's worth noting, it's quite a sombre number, that if it wasn't for the voluntary sector, the third sector, this borough, this great borough of ours, and in fact many boroughs across the country, would simply not be able to function in the way that they do. The time given up, the thousands of hours that people put in, whatever it could be an older people's group, a self-help group, young people, knit and natter, rattle and rhyme, allotments, gardening, mental health, all sorts of things, and, you know, ably supported by the Dudley Council for Voluntary Services. So, you know, my hat's off to them. I've got to thank councillors for being there for me as well whenever I've gone to events. Thanks go to David Stanley, who's been a big support. Shaz Salim and Adam Davis have been seen, I think, more than any other councillors, and they've been absolutely brilliant. Lots of events in their areas. Mike Wood MP, brilliant man, unassuming man, carries out his role with quiet dignity, supports the mayoralty wherever he can. And this is a plea as well for future mayors. Get out there, councillors, and support your mayor. We do need your support wherever possible. I'd like to thank Hales Owen Beard, Black Country Radio and Stowbridge Rotary, who've hosted me so many times this year. And big thanks to everybody who has supported my charities, as Councillor Zarda has mentioned. It will make a difference to so many people, especially Duke of Edinburgh, because we have deprived areas in this borough where young people cannot access the equipment to take part in these events. Just the simple fact of buying a pair of decent walking boots, waterproof trousers, you know, jackets, whatever, that I made sure with Duke of Edinburgh that it was going to be ring-fenced purely for the Dudley Borough, the same with Black Country Mind, and also the small community event that the Chief Executive's sorting out. My big thanks to Sue and Des, who stepped in when required. You're going to have a lovely year, enjoy it. And congratulations to Andrea and to James, who's going to be the deputy. And I'm just going to say, David sees you. So, massive thanks as well to my consort, Jack, who has been a great help. And it's done you good, hasn't it, Jack, helping and seeing people around the borough. My thanks also go to my long-suffering husband, who's sitting up there in the gallery, always ready with a cup of tea and my slippers, because my feet were usually killing me. And you won't have to live on takeaways anymore, because I shall be back doing what I enjoy doing. I've enjoyed it every single minute. I've enjoyed the pomp, I've enjoyed the ceremony, I've enjoyed the laughs. I was getting a bit worried when Councillor Harley said I was a down-to-earth Black Country girl, and I thought he thinks I'm common. But thank you very much for that, because I am who I am. I'm Anne. That's it. There's no sides to me. What you see is what you get. I've enjoyed every single minute, and in the words of old Blue Eyes himself, I did it my way. But I'm going to finish with the words of Bilbo Baggins from The Hobbit and also Lord of the Rings, that I think it is now time for another adventure. So thank you, everyone.
I'd like to now call on Jack Millward to come and accept his badge of past Mayor's Consort badge. Right. I was supposed to have asked you for a round of applause, but I think we've already done that bit, but we can do another one if you like. Shall we all applaud Anne again, because she was a magnificent mayor. Apologies, yeah. I've received apologies from councillors Adam Aston, Kerry Lewis, Maz Kari and Stuart Henley. Are there any more apologies to be submitted? No? Okay. I move that the minutes of the meeting held on the 11th of April 2022 be approved as a correct record and signed. Does the council agree? Aye. That is carried. Mayor's announcements. There's a lot of those. Members will be aware of the recent death of former Mayor and Honorary Alderman Mary Hill. There will be an opportunity to pay tribute at the next full council meeting. At this point, can I ask the council to observe a minute of silence as a token of respect to the memory of Mary Hill? Members of the council, the Mayor's Consort is Desmond Greenaway. The Deputy Mayor's Consort is Councillor James Clinton. My chaplain will be the Reverend Vanessa Tobin of St Mark's Church, Pensnet. The Mayor's charity appeal for 2022 to 2023 will be the Black Country Toy Appeal, a small charity which is relatively new, which is called Tough Enough to Care, which is a charity which helps mainly men, but ex-service people. It's a helpline, and they do. They have what do they call them? The groups to talk about their problems to try and help them through their mental health issues after service or for whatever reason. And I think that's a really good charity to help. And again, my family's Achilles heel is cancer. and many of my family have passed away with cancer, and many of my cousins and my own brother have had cancer, and my son, during the lockdown, had a little brush with cancer, and he asked me if I'd have Macmillan Cancer Support as one of my charities, because they were there for him in the aftermath of his experience. So that's why I've chosen Macmillan. The at-home event will be taking place on a date still to be arranged. Armed Forces Day will be on the 26th of June. The date of Civic Sunday will be notified in due course, and the date of Mayor-making dinner and Freedom Alderman event will be advised at a later date. The Black Country Festival Music Com event will be at Himley on the 17th of July. But Anne's going to have to come and dance at that, because I don't think I can manage it. Okay. The Mayor's Charity Councillors versus Officers cricket match will be held at 6 p.m. on Friday the 1st of July 2022 at the Memorial Ground in Stourbridge, as usual. Anyone missing to take part should contact Councillor Mohanif. At this point, I'd like to welcome the new members and members returning after a break in service, namely Sarah Bothell, Hilary Bills, Kieran Casey, Tony Creed, Kat Eccles, Jonathan Elliott, Adrian Hughes, Marion Howard, John Martin, Maz Kari and Thomas Russon. I would also like to pay tribute to the service given by the former councillors who were not re-elected on the 5th of May, Khurshid Ahmed, Nicholas Barlow and Chris Neal. Are there any members wishing to speak following this announcement? Councillor Zada.
Thank you. Again, Madam Mayor, just want to highlight the fantastic charities that you've chosen. And I'd just like to make one really important point, especially on this charity that very little people know about, which is the Tough Enough to Care. Suicide is the largest cause of death in men under 50. And a significant proportion of those people are former armed services. And therefore, this again is a vitally important charity, and we should all do everything that we can to support you to raise money for these charities. And again, the work, the pastoral work and the family work and the palliative work that Macmillan Cancer Support provide is something that complements the fantastic NHS provision that we've got, and again, a fantastic charity. And thank you, Madam Mayor, for picking these. In terms of former colleagues, before I congratulate new ones, Khurshid Ahmed, I'm sad that we have lost him, a fantastic and hard-working councillor that worked behind the scenes, has made a significant contribution to regeneration in this borough. What I always admired about him is his tough negotiation in any forum that we or the previous leaders sent him in, and he always came back with good results. Councillor Barlow, admire him for two things. One, his non-partisan approach to dealing with issues across the borough, and I always remember the work that he put in and he made effortless during the pandemic. So I would like to extend my congratulations. And Councillor Neal, I always still do think that Councillor Neal is another community councillor that I was saddened, albeit delighted, in two different spectrums that we will see is not here with us in this chamber. And again, I know that his interest remains in politics, and no doubt he'll re-emerge somewhere or other. Want to congratulate all the new councillors, especially the team that I have now got. I'm absolutely delighted that we're almost at 50-50 representation for women and men, which has been my aspiration as being the leader of this fantastic group. Some amazing talent with Kat and Aid and other colleagues, John returning and Marion, and I don't want to miss anybody out because no doubt they'll have me for it later, but Hilary, dare I not mention Hilary, so fantastic colleagues, some with experience that they'll bring back to the chamber, others with other life skills and local campaigning experience that we're hoping as a local Labour group within Dudley that we will benefit from. Congratulations to you all, and look forward to working with you over the coming 12 months. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Councillor Baton.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I want to pay absolute tribute to Councillor, well, not Councillor anymore, sadly, to Khurshid Ahmed. I will definitely miss him as a ward colleague, and I know the people of St James's will also miss the hard work and commitment and dedication that Khurshid has shown over so many years, and particularly the impact that Khurshid left in terms of regeneration for this borough. Many of the projects were started under Khurshid when he was lead for regeneration, and you know, that's absolute tribute to the work that he did. So, yeah. Also, I'd like to say to Councillor Barlow, Nick, I'll get it wrong again, Nick Barlow, if he is watching tonight, you know, Nick and I were opposites for the early part of the pandemic, and I think that we worked really closely. We put party politics aside and actually focused on the job in hand, which was making sure that we delivered the best for the people of Dudley. And I think Nick's will be absolutely missed. Nick's voice of reason will most definitely be missed in this council chamber. Chris, I didn't particularly know, I don't think I've ever worked with Chris Neal, but nevertheless, you know, it's always sad to see anybody not get re-elected. And absolute congratulations to all of those who were successful. But, you know, my heart goes out to losing Councillor to Khurshid Ahmed. Thank you.
Councillor Ruth Buttery.
Madam Mayor, I'd just like to say congratulations to all those who've come in. I know it was quite challenging on the night. Some seats were very, very close. And to all those who are newly elected, congratulations and welcome to a very interesting world of politics. Just to say a few words about Nick, obviously I had the health brief, and then when I came over to children's, he took on adults, social care and health. Little known that we were about to go into a pandemic, and as many of the colleagues have said, his kind, reasoned words, he put politics aside and always focused on what was best for his residents and for the residents of this borough, and he will be sorely missed. And as with Chris and Khurshid, I'm sure they'll both be back in the mix of politics very shortly. So thank you very much, Madam Mayor.
Councillor Harley, Patrick Harley.
Mayor, just briefly, congratulations to all those new councillors here for the first time. Some of them have battled away for many, many years trying to get to be ward councillors for the wards that they wanted to represent. So congratulations for finally getting over the line. Obviously, Kat and one or two others in that aspect. But I really want to focus on the three members that lost their seats. First of all, Khurshid Ahmed. I met Khurshid Ahmed in the early 2000s. Neither one of us was on the council. I was running under 12s, 13s for Gordon Athletic, and Khurshid brought along his youngest lad, I think he's Ali, to the training session. Signed him up, and I think he spent 2 or 3 years with us. And so there was a friendship there between me and Khurshid that lasts even till now. And I certainly like to, pay tribute to Khurshid's contributions in this chamber and beyond. Khurshid was the cabinet member at the time, many years ago now, that first brought very light rail to a cabinet and then a full council report. We did have a funding shortage, which we filled, but Kershid was the one who had the courage to say, yes, we'll run with this. There was a big funding gap, but it was very innovative and it was groundbreaking. And he had the courage to stick with that, despite the fact that we didn't have the funding to complete that project. He had the courage to come up here in full council and defend that decision. And we owe him a debt of gratitude for that. For Nick Barlow and Chris Neal, two good community councillors, and I can see former councillor Neil up in the balcony. No doubt they will both be back. This game of ours, this business of ours, politics, we ride with the rough and the smooth. We lose good councillors on both sides, as we all have over many years, sometimes due to national opinion. And I think this year, I think Chris and Nick were probably both a victim of that national opinion where too many bad headlines from what's happening nationally affected some of the results locally. But I believe that both of them, good, hard-working local councillors, have made an impression on the communities they've represented. I believe that both, Madam Mayor, in time, will both be back in this chamber. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor, and many congratulations on your election to the honour. Firstly, I'm unaware that we've done this in previous years, but I do welcome the opportunity to be able to say just a few words, really for those three councillors who are no longer sitting within the chamber. Firstly, Chris Neal. I had the opportunity to work relatively closely with Chris for the Health and Social Care Committee, where he was serving as Vice Chair. I found him to be an independent Vice Chair of that committee, attended each and every one, including a number of site visits, and where we had particular issues within the community, he was very diligent, and I think will be greatly missed from that scrutiny committee. Then move on to Nick Barlow. Nick I have known for many years. What's the positives of no longer having Nick within this council chamber? Well, he wasn't actually that good at cricket, so he won't be a great miss to the annual cricket match. But as a community councillor and as an independent, again, I thought, lead for health and social care, he was incredible. He was Nick Barlow, who accepted on behalf of this council the fact that we have a mental ill health crisis within the borough, and I look forward to working with Natalie Neal where we can accept that and move forward. Nick, of course, being a victim of the high watermark that Patrick had set that we were going to reach this May. And on that note, many congratulations to Community Councillor Kat Eccles for being elected on that. Kershid Ahmed, and I would encourage the Mayor to reach out to Kershid Ahmed for the annual mayoral cricket match, because he was one of certainly the best exponents of the great cricket game. So I think the officers should allow us to do that. But was an exceptional local councillor. And in fact, I think many of the things that he brought to this council chamber, through the report, through very light rail as a leader referred to, will be a legacy of this authority for many, many years to come. For all those who've been elected, you don't know what you're letting yourself in for, but it absolutely is an honour to serve as a local councillor for the communities that you've been elected to represent, and I wish everybody all the very best, Madam Mayor.
There are no other speakers. Are there any declarations of interest under the Members' Code of Conduct? No.
What? Oh, no interest whatsoever.
Leader of the Council, I call for nominations.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I nominate Patrick Harley.
Nomination seconded. Does any member wish to speak on the nomination? No. Are there any other nominations? No. I hereby declare that Councillor Patrick Harley has been elected as the leader of the Council in accordance with the provisions of the Constitution. Appointment and membership of the Cabinet and committees for 2022-23 and related matters. I call upon the leader.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and can I thank colleagues for their continued support. It is a great honour not only to be group leader but also council leader, and thank you all very much. Madam Mayor, members of the council, I move that the recommendations in the report concerning the appointment, composition and membership of the Cabinet, committees and related matters for 2022-23, together with the details set out in the list circulated at the meeting, be approved and adopted.
Is that seconded?
Formally seconded, Madam Mayor.
Does the council agree? Aye. That is carried. Constitution and scheme of delegation. I call on the leader.
Madam Mayor, members of the council, I move that the recommendations in the report be approved and adopted.
Is that seconded?
Formally seconded, Madam Mayor.
Does the council agree?
Aye.
That is carried. Programme of meetings for 2022-23. I call upon the leader.
Members of the council, I move that the recommendations set out in the report be approved and adopted.
Seconded.
Formally seconded, Madam Mayor.
Does the council agree?
Aye.
That is carried. Appointments, nominations to other bodies. I call on the leader.
Madam Mayor, members of the council, I move that the recommendations set out in the report be approved and adopted.
Seconded.
Formally seconded, Madam Mayor.
And does the council agree?
Aye.
That is carried. There is no urgent business, so that concludes the business of the annual meeting of the council. Thank you for your attendance and have a safe journey home. Thank you.